The Handsfree 2 is one of the most unique and coolest power stations Bluetti has released in a while because instead of carrying your backpack and a separate power station, you now have it all integrated with this 512 watt-hour power station and this 60-liter hiking bag. It's great because if you're a camper, hiker, drone pilot, or content creator like us, you need to have power on the go. The form factor is there, it's insanely cool, but is it worth $399? So this thing is marketed to people who spend a lot of time outdoors camping or hiking. Although saying that, I don't think that this is only good for those reasons. Given the whole streamer craze and people being online for long periods of time, they need a backup power station to charge their batteries if they died or to run lights if they need good lighting. Luke has already made a video on this power station over on the Solar Lab going over the tests and the specs, so if you want to go check that out, the video will be linked in the description. But quickly, it does have a 512 watt-hour battery, a 700 watt inverter, it has a 1200 watt power lifting, which we actually never really use, but it's great for resistive loads like heat. It has a 350 watt solar input and a 650 watt AC input. It charges in about 45 minutes, it's really light, it's only 16.5 pounds. Like I said before, the backpack is 60 liters and is pretty versatile and unique. So with that being said, let's jump into some comfortability tests, usability, and use cases of this whole package. So I figured, what is a better spot to test this streamer backpack than in front of a bunch of people at a car show? So here I am at the Fenland Falls car show, and I'm just going to kind of give a quick review of this backpack. Number one, it is super heavy. Like, the power station is 16.5 pounds. Having that on your back sucks. And especially if you're carrying that around, say 2 kilometers to your campsite, it does get pretty draining. But it is better to the alternative of having it be a 70-pound power station that you have to lug or use a dolly to bring around. So that's not too bad. Only being 512 watt hours, not horrible for the size of it, but overall, yes, it is very heavy. One thing I do like about this backpack though, is it has these straps at the front, so you can kind of be on your body, which is pretty nice. It is pretty comfortable on the shoulders as well. Overall, I think it's okay. I'm going to be wearing it to the cottage and kind of bringing it around on hikes and whatever, and it is pretty heavy on my shoulders. So especially when you're carrying a camera, your arm starts to get very, very tired. The backpack is definitely huge. I mean, my car here is a 1976 Buick Electra, and it is like 20 feet long, and this backpack takes up so much room. But because it is so big, you can fit a lot in there. There's a bunch of different pockets with clips to hold everything together, different places to hang stuff off of. If you wanted to hang off a solar panel back there while you're wanting to charge your power station, you can definitely do that. Again, more clips here. In this pocket right here, we have the rain cover. It is a pretty thin rain cover. Like, honestly, it kind of looks like a huge shower cap, but that is neither here nor there. That's gonna go right there. But inside, I'll show you kind of how I have it compact. This pocket, that is all of my clothes. So this is clothes for the weekend. I'm going to a cottage, like I said before, and I'm gonna be able to basically fit everything in here. I have hoodies, I have pants, I have sweaters, I have pajamas, I have basically everything I need. On the backpack, you're able to extend this out to fit more clothes, which is pretty sweet. I'm glad they offered that feature. We went through the clothing, and now in here, there we go, I have room for a bunch of camera gear. Now, I did have my camera and lens, plus here I have some batteries, plus a charger and my booklet, as well as my MacBook. So I have everything I need to do work, and I have way more room for so much more stuff, which is nice. But here we have a pocket for drinks, and I believe it is the same thing on this side. Yes, again, I am holding my charger in that pocket, but you can literally do whatever you want. This is one section for the power station. It unzips perfectly, and you can see the front of the Bluetti here. It is at 51%, so I've used it to charge batteries here and there, as well as running my girlfriend's speaker while we were in the car, because this thing does not have Bluetooth, believe it or not. But yeah, here we have 2 USB-Cs, USB-As, and your DC and PV input. It looks to be an XT60. Pretty nice, and you can just zip this up. I believe that the backpack is water resistant, and these zippers are waterproof. Hopefully you're not leaving this thing out in the rain, but it might be able to resist
resist a lot of that. Now, on this side, you can have the same configuration here, but now you have the AC input and the house plug right at the very top, which is nice. It's a good design from Bluetti. I wish they had a black. I don't really love the blue. Just to give more options, I'd like to have black or gray, but the blue is not bad. I'm getting really picky in that. On the top, we have a space to put our zippers, and they have a code that you can use. So if you're super paranoid, you can lock up your bag. Okay, so my camera battery just died on this thing. So here's the back. Fits in there nice. I can literally lock it in here. I don't have to worry about it falling out while I'm walking or going on trails. Overall, carrying this backpack now for almost 2 hours on my back, it's not too bad because the materials are very nice. Like, this isn't a cheap thing from China. It does have a lot of quality built into it, which I'm very happy about, because normally these things start digging into your shoulders and hurting a lot, but there's enough padding on there where it's not going to hurt. So if you are using this for hiking or using this for a streamer backpack, it's not going to be the worst. All I would say is hopefully you have some good back muscles, but it's not too bad. So I wanted to quickly show a couple different use cases for the Bluetti Handsfree 2, and here we have our fridge in our cabin on vacation. So basically, we're just using it as a UPS right now, or actually not even a UPS because I have not attached it to the power in the main grid. As you can see, it is running. AC is on, the DC is on. It doesn't need to be on, but it's on right now. But look, fridge is on, running, and everything is cool, as well as the freezer. So this can run your fridge, no problem, with that 700 watt output. And then you have basic things that you would expect a power station to run. So a fan and charging our phone. If I turn on the fan right here, as you can hear, the fan's on. We're charging our phone, and that's gonna run for about an hour and 7 minutes, with the Bluetti only having 13% in it. Now, again, if this was 100%, this would run for a pretty long time. And these are great if you're going camping or if you're in a very small room like we are. Now, one question that you guys are probably going to ask is, can you just buy a power station and buy a backpack and make this kit yourself? And you definitely can, and I'll show you one that we made here. So you can buy a hiking backpack just like this one. It's around 70 bucks on Amazon. It's pretty good. It's a normal hiking backpack. It has kind of everything that the Bluetti has, except the compartments for your camera gear and stuff. But you're able just to buy a power station like this Bluetti Elite 30, and you can throw it just right in here. It's only 9.5 pounds. It is one option. If you want to bring the camera over here, Jared, actually, maybe you can kind of show inside of it. As you can see, like, the Elite 30 does fit inside the power station, and it's not that big of a deal. It's not as great as a fit as the Handsfree 2, obviously, because it's not purpose built for it, but you can kind of build your own. I wrote the price down in the book here. It is $370 for this backpack and the Elite 30. You are saving a little bit of money, but you're not getting any of the convenience or any of the creature comforts you would from the Bluetti backpack and the Handsfree 2 altogether. What matters to you more, the 20 bucks or having to fiddle around with a backpack and a power station put together? So the first pro on having this be together is the fact that you don't have to carry an additional power station in your hands. Some power stations can be 35, 45, even 75 pounds and higher, but you have to carry that around or dolly it around. The great thing about this is you throw it in your backpack and your hands are hands-free, or you're able to keep your hands free. And the great thing about this backpack is you can still fit everything else you need. You can fit in the power station, you can fit in your clothes, camera gear. It has a lot of room for whatever you need. The last thing we liked about the Bluetti backpack is that it is waterproof and water resistant. It has a water resistant fabric with waterproof zippers, and we ran a 20-minute test outside in the rain, and the outside got a little wet, but the inside stayed completely dry, so it works. So the first con on this power station is that it's literally meant for travelers and you can't bring it on a plane. It is only 512 watt hours, so it's not made for extended periods of off-grid living. It's really meant for like a day or two. Obviously they did this so it wouldn't be too heavy in your backpack, but you have to then sacrifice some of those capabilities, like having a bigger power station or even just having more AC outputs. It's just what you have to sacrifice to get something that isn't going to kill your back.
So the last thing is the dividers in the backpack, and I'm actually gonna show you what I mean, because you think that it's going to be very customizable. It's not. Also, in Bluetti's kind of promotional stuff, they show a very rigid backpack with pre-built dividers. This is really not the case. It's false marketing. I'll show you right here. You see these dividers right here? You can pull them out. Okay. You can move them, but only to their pre-built Velcro. And if you want to zoom in here, Jarrett, can you see the Velcro? So you can only put it in like pre-built spots, and it's super flimsy. Look at that. So like if you had a super heavy camera on the very top, it would just be like pushing down all your stuff. So the way you have to do it is put your heaviest gear at the bottom and build your way up. It would have been really nice if the whole thing was Velcro, so you can customize it a little bit more, but now you have no choice but to just remove them or have them as they are. So overall, what I think of this bundle is it is pretty good if this is something you're looking for. You can go and make your own, but it just doesn't really make sense because this is actually a pretty good bang for your buck. You can use this power station for many different things as well, as I showed you in this video, and it doesn't have to be just a traveler's backpack. It is campers, hikers, streamers, people that fly drones. You can use it as a UPS. You can put it on top of your fridge to run your fridge. Like, there is a lot of possibilities because at the end of the day, it literally is just a power station that fits really nice in a backpack. Luke did a video on this power station over on the Solar Lab if you want to go check that out. It's pretty good, and it kind of just shows you the specs and how it runs and if it is a good power station, which, spoiler alert, it's pretty good. As always, we'll leave a link to this kit down in the description, as well as any discount codes to save you guys some money. Thank you so much for watching this video. Peace out and stay charged.